But guys, this is not your first rodeo. So raise your hand if you're new to Seattle, so we get a sense of. Okay, so the rest of you have no fucking excuse.
So,
okay.
Wait, let me
know
mention
what's
also,
coming.
there are some chairs up here. If you'd like a chair, you can grab a chair from this room and open one up, so we can make a little more room here. So if you want to stand, awesome. If you don't want to stand, there are some chairs up here on the side and some more in the room over there.
Now, the bar is going to remain open, right? So this is a crucial thing. We're a craft city. You can clap if you want to. Remember...
You can clap if you want to.
Oh, jeez. So it's not an open bar, true. So here's the deal. If one of you would like to get up and pay for everyone's drinks, you will make Seattle's history. If you're a service provider, it's free sponsorship right there. Wow, weak.
Hey, Mindy, if anybody wants to buy drinks for a bunch of people, is that okay? All right, we're just checking.
Okay, so first of all, I'm Red. I try to make it really easy. If you ever see me out of this building, you can still call me Red. It is actually who I am, and I always try to remember who I am by wearing something that is the same color as my name. Cool.
I'm Green. I'm wearing no green, but it's my last name. So, next time. I don't know what happened this week. So we just need to address like really quickly for what it's worth. This is the smallest crowd we have ever had. And I understand for some people, 120 people is awesome. But this is like lower than we've ever had. We understand there's like 3 or 4 competing events, really bad traffic, all this stuff. But because of that, we want to really thank all of you that are here. And thank you guys for coming, because we're going to have a great time and make some great connections with everybody who is here. Who's new? Who's never been here before? Cool.
Welcome.
Okay. So hopefully the people who have been here before have kind of shown you this is what we're all about. This is where you are. We believe in people. It's not about companies. It's not about enterprise or startup or Seattle or East Side or male or female. We're just people doing cool things. So if you're into that and you want to support other people doing cool things, this is where you come to meet smart, fun, creative people who are doing cool things in tech, and some people who are doing cool things that are not in tech, but they just heard it's a good time to meet good people. So this is our team, which is kind of ever expanding. People helping us with a lot of different things. There's a lot of behind the scenes things that happen to put all this on for you guys. So we like to acknowledge all the people who are helping out. These are our presenters tonight. GiveSafe, Quick. It's Palolink. I can never say it right. And Center for Infectious Disease Research. Very cool stuff that they're doing to make the world a better place. You're going to love that. These are our sponsors that make all of this possible. And yeah, thank you. The Terabyte sponsors are going to be speaking for a minute each a little bit later. And some of our partners, we just need to mention briefly. So Seattle Union Gospel Mission, I don't know how many people got the email, but we are collecting coats and blankets and turkeys. And so we're trying to help the homeless where we can. We're going to be doing some other interesting things with them to help Seattle's homeless in the future. More to come on that. And is Kira in the room for Galvanize? Okay. So we want to thank Galvanize for the space, to give us this wonderful space to do what we do. And Seattle Gospel Mission, Washington State Opportunity. Aaron? There. So they've been doing some really amazing things, and we're at the peak of this. And those of you who have been here before have known we've been working on this for 2 or 3 months. And awesome things have happened, and Aaron's going to tell you what's happening.
Anybody here not ever heard of the Washington State Opportunity Scholarship before? Raise your hand. Awesome. Okay, just because I don't want to bore everybody.
You're a little heavy on this side, so let's focus here.
You're not that heavy. I think you look good. You look fine. Love yourself. So Washington State Opportunity Scholarship is a Washington State initiative for Washington State high school graduates to study in a local community, college or university in a science, technology, engineering, math, or healthcare degree. So what we're trying to do is make sure that you folks all have awesome workforce, highly qualified workforce folks who are homegrown right here in our state. And to that end, we have a really audacious goal, which was 4 years ago when this scholarship was launched, to raise $94.5 million by 2021 and put 14,000 Washington State high school kids into college. And we are only $2.5 million away from that. So by 2021, there will be 14,000 students going to school, all right, here in Washington. Pretty darn cool. So a shout out always to New Tech Seattle, New Tech Eastside, because Brett and Red got on board really early and said, we want to be part of this because the tech community is very generous. We want to help support that. So I always come to these meetings and I get to tell you that every dollar that is raised during this, the rest of the year is actually $1 equals $4, because every dollar raised is matched by generous contribution from Gary Rubens, who's a local angel investor and a board member of the Washington State Opportunity Scholarship. And every single dollar raised by the Washington State Opportunity Scholarship is matched by the state. So your $1, if you make a donation during the Geeks Give Back campaign, which is going on right now, turns into $4. So I would really encourage you to go to our website, waopportunityscholarship.org, and make a donation and see amazing Washington scholars doing amazing things in your own company. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, actually, is Internap here? I don't think they're actually here.
Let's
Okay.
thank Internap for giving
Let's
us 60
thank
seconds.
Internap.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a really interesting evening. So we're going to make it more fun and interesting now, because the red man is going to lead you
To the promised land.
to the promised land of
Okay,
community.
so here's the deal. We actually got this from our friends in the New Jersey Tech Meetup. It's a very easy way to get to know people around you. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to get 60 seconds. Well, we're going to make it 120 seconds to high-five two people around you you've never met. All right? And you got to find out something interesting about them, and they should probably find out something interesting about you. So make a little high-five contact. Two people, 120 seconds, go. All right. Please take your seats again. All right. This is always the most awkward question to ask, but did you meet somebody cool? Who said no? Okay.
Who did not meet somebody cool? Who did you meet that wasn't cool?
Shh. No pointing. It's rude.
So we should have him stand up just to prove that he is cool and find out what's cool about him, but I won't do that.
So here's the deal. Every every month we give you an opportunity to meet the community. And we have 3 different categories we like to focus on. One is jobs. If you are looking for a job and you are a developer, raise those code fingers right now. Do this. Code fingers. Boom on. Let me see them. What, one-handed developers? Amazing. Two-handed developers. Let me see it. Good. So if, keep them up. Keep them up. If you are hiring a developer, look at those hands. They could be working for you. Okay? If you want to find a job, there's also a job board on New Tech Seattle. You could put those fingers to work at home. NewTechSeattle.com, and you can post yourself up there saying you're looking for a job. If you are hiring, sponsor our group, or put yourself up on our job board as well. If you are not a developer and you're looking for a job, please stand up. Please. I mean, come on, you want the most attention. You're probably sales or marketing or something outbound, inboundy. Or you're creative. You're not a developer. This is your chance to get kind of creative-y. Okay. Thank you, guys. Let's all put a round of applause for the developers and the people who are not developers looking for a job.
Where else do you get applause for looking for a job?
Startup world is always like permanent unemployment for the founders, but for the people who are looking for the jobs, we want you to get the jobs by the unemployed people. It doesn't make sense, but it doesn't have to. We also have released a very special part. We're gonna take the 5 to 6 announcements, maybe 10 announcements we do every month, and we're gonna make an announcement right here, right now. You can now make your announcement that you make at New Tech Seattle. It's the 20-second spotlight we do every month, and if you're new, anyone can stand up and share a resource. We now have a resources page for service providers up on our website. So if you're a service provider trying to find clients, you no longer have to stand up at our group and pitch yourself for 20 seconds in front of everybody. You can still sponsor our group, or you can go to the website and put it up there as well. For the rest of you who are not looking for a job, who are not hiring, and don't have a service to sell, this is your 20 seconds. If you have an event, if you're raising money for charity, or if you just have something amazing that you want to tell everybody, and you want to make it weird, that's cool too. This is your chance. Who has something to say in 20 seconds or less?
Community helping community. Cool. Lady with the red lipstick. Wait, Tara. We have to do outside voice, just so we can all hear you. Cool. So, gentlemen, right there. Cool.
Kapow.
Anyone else? Yes? That's not as weird as like the people who just look like they're talking to themselves with the goofy Star Trek thing, right? Awesome. No ugly neck buds.
What's the expo called? Okay.
All right. One more? Yes?
Hi, my name is Renee Dillard. I'm the SeaWorld, and I am looking for
Cool.
Let's hear
Awesome.
for everybody who stood up and announced themselves and helping the community.
So Ivy Softworks, which is now Atlas, which is slightly confusing, but won't be so much in 2 weeks, I think. They do stealth stuff, so when they roll it out, you got to kind of keep up to understand, but Kai's going to catch us up.
Thank you very much, Brett. Ivy Softworks, first of all, it's great to be here. We love the energy of this event, and we'd love to be sponsors of the New Tech Meetups. But Ivy Softworks, we are an innovation studio. What does that mean? We're a startup that builds startups. However, we are going to be coming out of stealth with our first product called Atlas, which is solving the problem of basically helping you to remember everything that you've seen across your devices. What does that mean? So if you think that you had a document or a Word PDF or an email that you can't remember seeing from 3 months ago, we'll be able to help you solve that problem. We're right now in private beta, which means that we're hiring like crazy. We're at 35 people today, and we're looking to add another 15 people within the next 6 months. So come and have a look at our team and certainly talk to us. Our primary aim is with the DevOps, platform development engineers, certainly distributed systems engineers, as well as SDETs. And if you look over there, you'll see our team. They're wearing some very cleverly designed T-shirts, of which I'm going to call up some of our members right now, my two compatriots right here. And they will be throwing out 10 of them with a view that you can also wear these cleverly designed T-shirts. So please enjoy our free gift. Thanks very much for hosting us, and we look forward to coming again.
Thank you so much. Who likes free shirts? Yeah! Swag.
So you ready for our first presenter? Cool. He'll be here in 1 second, but first,
yep.
are you going to do it? Go
Well,
ahead.
I mean,
You can do it.
this is like a
'em know.
group thing. Okay, so first of all, it's very hard when you're up here and you're passionate about your startup and your company. You forget 5 minutes is 5 minutes. When there is 1 minute left, I want you all to raise your finger like so.
Can you do that?
Can everyone do that?
Let's practice.
This one, please. It's really awkward if you don't. Okay, what's going to happen is we are going to hold up a 1 minute sign in the front row. If you see that 1 minute sign or you
James?
see someone else,
Can you show him how it works?
yeah, give us a little oneer. Everyone, what do you do? What do you do? You are helping
See?
the speaker out.
We're all in it together, brothers and
Yeah.
sisters.
Yeah. Now they're ready.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Give Safe.
Is there a clicker?
You know, it's so much better when I hand it to you.
Yeah.
It really helps.
Don't worry, I'll start again.
Okay. Okay. So take a moment and think back to the last time you were asked for assistance on the street. What caused you to hesitate? Was it not having cash on you because you don't carry it anymore? Was it not having time to stop and engage and maybe buy them a sandwich? Or was it not being sure if giving cash would end up helping or harming the person who is asking? Raise your hand if you've had this encounter in the last 10 days. This is a big problem. So basically, we clearly want to give. As individuals, we gave $257 billion to charity last year. And as U.S. households, 90% of us gave at least $1,600 to charity. Carnegie Mellon University shows us that we're never more likely to act than for a single story in need. But that's not happening in this case because of the reasons I just covered. So GiveSafe enables those financial transactions to happen. And like Indiegogo, like Kiva, like GoFundMe, and like Kickstarter, we're going to tap into the market of local mobile giving. We have developed the fastest way to give $1 ever created. Essentially, these tiny beacons are distributed by nonprofits to individuals who are struggling with homelessness. I'm going to go to the next slide. Oh, sweet, that works. Basically, these things will be given, again, like I said, and if you have the GiveSafe app and you simply walk by or drive by a beacon holder, you'll receive a simple push notification that just says, hey, this is Sam. He's been on the streets for 4 months. Would you like to give him $1, give him $2, or open the app to learn more of their journey? You can give straight through the notification if you like, or you can open the app to learn more. And if you decide to give, that person can then take this beacon and scan it at any partnered merchant or nonprofit to spend the money on something that will actually help. Things like a haircut, warm clothing, transportation. And it is these transactions that start to earn our company, we are a company, GiveSafe revenue as well. So we add a small transaction fee to the top of every donation. And when that money is ultimately spent at a merchant, merchants keep 90% of whatever it is they take in. So we estimate that our average active user will give about $1 a week or $4 a month. And if that happens, we earn as a company about $1 per user per month in revenue. Or, oh, I was on the wrong slide. Yeah. $12 per user per year. So if those assumptions hold, we're looking at some pretty attractive numbers here. At just 20,000 actives, we're earning $240,000 a year, and those numbers go up. But the bigger question is, how exactly are we going to get 20,000 actives, 400,000 actives, as you see right there? Well, fortunately, we've already made some good inroads with both local and national partners, like the Union Gospel Mission and the Salvation Army, who have agreed not only to help us distribute these beacons, but to also meet with beacon holders on a monthly basis and advocate for the app to their own community. This is big because the magic to this beacon is not funding material needs. Actually, every month we turn these off manually because to get them reactivated, the beacon holder has to check in with that nonprofit, have a coffee, just say, hey, here's how my last month went to a program counselor. And it is those relationships that we're channeling people into that are really what's changing the face of the game here. The city of Seattle has followed suit in terms of signing up to advocate for the app when it's ready, as well as companies based downtown like Tune, Moz, Nordstrom. The provisionally patented technology has a ton of white label use cases as well, from working with churches to the Salvation Army bell ringers, the real change vendors you see on the streets, even Girl Scout cookies. So yeah, my background is in user experience design. I've built apps before. And then we have co-founder Rene Garcia, también se llama El Code Diablo, who has legendarily never lost a hackathon here in Seattle. And then we have advisors like Jeff Lilly, the president of the mission, who has called GiveSafe the answer to the #1 question he's asked in life. Jeff, what do I do when asked for assistance on the street? We've raised $25,000 for our pilot so far. We're excited to raise for our seed this spring. We're currently looking for a CMO right now. So FYI, if you're interested in either working on the product or just volunteering in terms of distributing beacons with us, or just want to be a part of the beta application, please just give me your business card and I'll get in touch. Cool. So any questions? Yeah, right here.
Have you tracked how many people lose these beacons?
I have lost 2 of them already. So we plan on certainly tying them to like a necklace or a bracelet or a keychain. Thankfully, when these things are lost, and it's not if, it's when, no one can actually pick up the beacon and use it. Every redemption is tied to a photo match. So if I steal your beacon or I lose mine and you pick it up and then you go trying to get a haircut, my photo will show up when trying to redeem, like scan the beacon. So loss is not a big deal. These things only cost a couple dollars. So, and theft is not an issue as well. But good question, because I lose them all the time. Yeah, in the back. I might keep it. I'm not sure yet. Yeah. Next question. Yeah, we haven't put that in our business model, but yeah, that might happen. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that's a great question. We're kind of treating these like a vending machine. We're happy to kind of provide the equipment for free because it's really low cost. In our projections, the beacon cost is only 2 to 3% of our expenses. So we're happy to provide them. And there are opportunities for the white labeling aspect, like the nonprofit that just pitched. Like, instead of going to a website, I'd love to just give you a beacon. So if people had the app, they could just come next to you and donate in like a few seconds. And we'd probably charge you for that beacon, for example. But yeah. They are not involved. Yeah, we're not really partnering formally with the city or the government at this time. These beacons have a very limited signal radius, so it's not going to show up on any Google map. It's not. The only way you will know if this thing is around is if you're within 5 to 10 yards of it. So there's no sort of tracking component, which is a big concern. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. So it's just tied to a profile in the cloud. So when they go to the barbershop and scan the beacon there, the barbershop will have either an iPod or an iPad. A lot of them have POS systems with an internet connection already, and it just kind of pulls down the data from our database saying, like, so-and-so has $30 to spend. And then we reimburse the merchants at the end of the month for what they've given out.
Thank you. Sky? Not Sky? Oh. Who likes t-shirts? Who needs more t-shirts? One thing you will never run out of if you come here every month is t-shirts. Because you get good t-shirts, cool t-shirts. I personally have like 3 of these. They sent us 8 boxes of these. Luckily, the TV show was a hit, and it was great, so now Mr. Robot's a cool thing. Or I'd have 8 boxes of these that I handed out to people, and they'd be like, I'm not going to wear it. So, Kyle, tell us a little bit about Hired, and you're going to throw those out, right?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Grab that.
All right. So where's the founder from the last company? That's a really cool product. I just want to say props. Very cool stuff, man. Hi, everybody. Very happy to be here on behalf of Hired. My name is Kyle Cushing. I am the lead client executive for Hired here in Seattle. So, just going to ask the audience a little question. Show of hands. Who has had a negative experience either trying to hire somebody for their company or looking for a job? All right, cool. So pretty much everybody. That's a problem that we are out in the marketplace trying to solve. We're a technology company, and we've built a marketplace that makes it super, super easy for awesome companies to find fantastic talent and for great people to find jobs they love. We work with some really great companies in the area, Amazon, Moz, Zillow, Tune. But yeah, we'd love to talk to you. So if you would like to check us out, look us up at hired.com. We'll be over there in the corner afterwards. And now off to my man, Max Thayer with Quick Wick.
Thank you, Kyle. T-shirts look nice and soft. I don't know if Brett and Red said this tonight, but I believe this is Socially Conscious Night tonight, which is an event you guys run once a year.
Yeah, so this is our 3rd annual Tech for Good night.
Tech for Good.
We're excited to have. And we don't have Tech for Bad night, but we could always add that. That could be Halloween next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tech for Good night. It's going to get heavy in a moment before it gets nicer, but I promise you'll leave this with a smile. I'm really excited to announce this project. It's very near and dear to me, and we are Quick Wick, and we are trying to end the scourge of malnutrition for the nation's youngest and most vulnerable children. So there is a picture of a child who's hungry in the next slide. I'm warning you, but there's only one of them. So only one picture. Only one picture in the deck. Okay, so real talk for a moment here, Seattle. The Great Recession of 2008 has lifted. Seattle is booming. We are prosperous. But the reality is we've discovered there's a large section of jobs, be they in industry, blue-collar jobs that have left this country and are not coming back. And the reality is there's a large swath of Americans that are left behind or left without work. And today, the numbers for hunger in America are growing. which is distressing. Now, right now, 1 in 5 children, which is crazy, 1 in 5 live in food insecure households, which means they don't always know where they're going to find their next meal. That comes to 16 million children. And that's a real problem for us as a nation because we're trying to build citizens. And at the same time, scientists are starting to tell us that from the ages 0 to 5 form a really critical period for growth and development in children. There's some stats. They say in the first year of life, 60% of all the nutrition you consume goes to your brain. Within the first 3 years on this planet, 80% of all the synaptic connections in your brain are formed. So this is really important. This is about preparing kids for kindergarten, preparing kids to succeed. So the good news is, for those of you engineers, we just took 16 million children. We've reduced the scope. We now have 8 million children, infants from 0 to 5. We can focus on, cut the scope of the problem in 2 by half. But you're probably thinking now, how are 5 programmers in Ballard going to look after feeding 8 million infants? And the good news here again, there's a lot of buttons on this. The good news here again is that we're actually not alone in this mission. There's actually a federal government agency that's tasked with exactly that, with providing supplemental nutrition for low-income families across America. Who here has heard of WIC? Wow, awesome, that's great. Does anybody know anybody on WIC? That's terrific, terrific. So WIC is a program that provides supplemental nutrition for low-income pregnant mothers, nursing mothers, children up to the age of 5, and it's across the nation. It has 9 million users. It gives out over $9 billion in benefits, and it's a terrific program. In a nutshell, for those of you who can see the screen, sorry people who are behind the pillars, this is sort of what WIC looks like. This is about half the package that a family of 4 would get per month, and it's about delivering these supplemental foods. Mothers come into a clinic, they meet with a nutritionist who measures their demonstrated need and assigns these vouchers. The problem is the vouchers. This is actually the voucher from the state of Washington. From this small slip of paper, the mothers and participants on this program are expected to ascertain what brands they can purchase, what foods are approved, and what quantity they have remaining. Needless to say, it's very confusing, and if there's any misuse, the result can be very humiliating. You hold up the line in the supermarket, you're identified as a welfare recipient, and it can be a scary process. So, there's no animations. These are all three of our charts here. The net result, the consequence of all this going on, is that while the number of people in poverty are growing in our country, millennial mothers are turning away from this program. They're saying this is too confusing to use and we're not willing to put up with this. So WIC enrollees are declining at rapid rates. But we also know as tech entrepreneurs that the penetration of smartphones, particularly in this low-income segment, has just absolutely exploded. So we said, given this phone this computer everyone carries in our pocket, how can we begin to solve the problems facing the WIC program? And we created QuickWIC. And our concept is to automate and simplify the delivery of WIC benefits onto the mobile phone. It sounds pretty simple when you see it. It took us a while to get here, but here's 3 of our basic features. We want to do real-time benefits, so you can check your balance from any store, anywhere, anytime, and see exactly what you have left to purchase, and with visual clues to help you understand it if English isn't your first language. We can use the camera on the phone as a barcode scanner, which is a really cool way to instantly verify if any product in any store is available to you. And we're currently looking on doing live text support with people who work in the clinics. So we're rolling out our pilot right now to Chickasaw Nation, which is a small WIC community in Oklahoma. They have 4,000 users. And if anyone has any technology questions about how we went about building this, I'd be happy to answer them. That's it. Time's up. Yes?
Who are you selling to? Are you selling to the government as a better way to facilitate this?
Yeah, so right now we're trying to sell to state agencies. There's 90 different organizations that put together WIC. It's all 50 states, territories, and a lot of Native American tribes. And we're pitching to them. We're saying this is going to be the new front end for your clinic experience. And reception to that is slow but increasing. I know you guys are curious. Yes?
So, do a lot of people in poverty have smartphones?
Yeah, so the amazing thing, we actually pivoted into this company from trying to do bill payments on our phones. And we discovered that, you think of the smartphone as a luxury item a lot of times, but today the case is you can go into Metro PCS or something and get a phone for free. And it's become, well, it's maybe your second or third device. It's become the primary device for households that don't own laptops, that don't have broadband connections, and it's widespread. Thanks, though. Yes, back corner. Yeah, so this has been our biggest challenge to date, is that we're trying to sell to these government agencies, and the sales cycle for our first client was a year long. There's not a lot of early adopters, oftentimes in government, but we've been to a few conferences and we keep hitting them over the head with this, and everyone says, "Hey, I'm getting 20-year-old mothers right now, and they glaze over when I talk to them, but they're on their phones all the time. What can we do?" And we're hoping that people will start figuring this out as an answer. Yes. Conceivably, the biggest area where WIC concerns the retailers is that the concept they call lane flow, which is getting customers in and out quickly. WIC is a major source of disruption. But we haven't found a way to either partner with or potentially monetize the retailers yet. You know, they say, "How many users do you have?" They say, 4,000 in Oklahoma. They say, talk to us in a year. Yeah. We've built everything entirely in-house, and we've been on the road or on the phone talking to the basically departments of public health at the 50 states. Oh, no, we actually will need help with translations fairly soon. We've done Spanish, and the Seattle local area has some 11 active languages that the WIC supports, and so we'll need help with that. Yes. So we're doing our pilot right now and gaining the users, the families in there. When we go to spread to other markets, we're going to need to sign a deal with that local government before we can get their users.
Thank you, Max.
Thanks, guys.
Brandy? So Code Fellows has been a partner of ours for multiple events, multiple locations, and they're doing a lot of cool things with coding. You're going to tell them why you have a differentiator, right? You're going to tell them what makes Code Fellows cool? Okay. I'm helping her out.
Well, first I'd like to thank Brett for inviting me out tonight, even though he doesn't like my hair, which has made me very sad, since he's a friend of mine. I'm just saying. Yeah. You're welcome. So I have yeah, it's great hair. It's great hair. I just did it, but it's amazing. So if I could ask you a question, if in less than 6 months you could change your career and at the same time possibly double your income, would you do it? It's possible. I see it every day. My name is Brandy, and I'm the Seattle Campus Director for Code Fellows. We are the oldest coding school in Seattle with the largest alumni network. We also have the strongest and most established relationship with hiring managers in this city. We are job focused. That is what we do. Our whole curriculum is about getting you a job. We have a 97% placement rate. It's pretty strong numbers. We have some of the best instructors, I would say world-class instructors. And I could probably tell you that our instructors could kick your instructors' asses. They're pretty badass. Also, and that's you too. That's you, yeah, that's you. Yeah, welcome to Galvanize. If you're wondering if you could be a candidate or someone you know in your family, in your circle could be a candidate, I would ask you this. Are you satisfied with your current career path? Then yes, you would be a candidate. If you're a coder that is wanting to maybe freshen up your skills or learn a new stack, yes, you would be a candidate for us. Or maybe you just want to break into the tech community and you don't know how, then yes, you would be a candidate for us. So I believe that learning to code just unlocks your superpowers. And if you want to learn how to do that, you can visit our website at codefellows.com, or you can buy me a whiskey at Temple after this, and I'll tell you all about it. Thanks.
Isn't her hair awesome? We're friends. That's why she messes with me like that. If you've been to our website, do you like our website? We were really grateful that you can walk up here, Hans. Culture Foundry did an awesome job of kind of getting our story across and sharing how we care about the community and trying to pull everything together for us so that people understood what we were doing and we could connect to the right people. And they do awesome stuff for other companies besides us and other organizations. So Hans, tell them a little bit about Humanisphere.
Great. I'll need the clicker.
Yes, you will.
Thank you, sir.
I'm
Thank you.
having clicker problems
Coming up.
tonight. Sorry about that.
So the theme of the event is giving, right? And what makes New Tech Seattle go, in our estimation, is that your introduction is not what's the ask here, it's what's the give. And to that end, we're going to highlight one of the sites that we've helped build apart from New Tech Seattle. But let's start with a quiz, as is our wont, to start with some kind of quiz. So the quiz is, where is the world's leading news site for coverage of global health and poverty headquartered? Any guesses? Oh, I see one there. Seattle. Wait, you forgot the hint. Yes, Seattle. It's not New Tech London or New Tech Nairobi here. It is Seattle. The site is called Humanisphere, and it is a news site. It is a nonprofit. I could tell you all about it, but a better person to tell you all about it would be the founder and editor, Tom Paulson. And I'll drive the slides if you like, and
Okay.
while you talk.
Thanks. Great to be here. I'm kind of new to the format, so I know I got to go quickly. So, Humanisphere. I'm an old newspaper reporter, and then I went and worked for NPR for a while, and I eventually started this as an independent news site. It's very narrowly focused on aid and development, global health, covers the Gates Foundation. Hans, when I became independent, saved my butt because it was built by NPR and they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, apparently. Don't quote me. And so it's been redesigned. It looked a lot worse when I started. And we're focused on the fact that Seattle is one of the epicenters, maybe the epicenter for global health. The Gates Foundation drives the narrative, sets the agenda on a lot of the aid and development community. And if you're interested in what the real story is, because there's a lot of cheerleading, there's a lot of, Children's Defense Fund crying, give us $1 type stories. It's actually an industry. It needs to be covered aggressively like any industry. This is a place where a lot of stuff's happening. So we cover a lot of issues. We're fairly, we have a new media focus. We're fairly aggressive, fairly irreverent. We run that story frequently. The gun deaths in the United States are sort of crazy compared to most of the rest of the world, including some of the developing world. I'm not welcome to go back to Rwanda after interviewing the president there. We can tell you more about that story. I don't know what else Oh, and so the Gates Foundation is. You probably have heard of the Gates Foundation, Bill Gates. They're the world's largest philanthropy. Like I said, they kind of set the agenda on the aid and development, the fight against poverty and so forth. And I've covered them since the 90s. I was at the Seattle Post-Intelligencer, which no longer exists as a printed product. And so I know them probably better than they know themselves. I get in the door frequently. They're not always happy with what I report. But if you're interested in this as a something you want to do, I mean, this really is a place where a lot of the newest ideas, some of the coolest stuff, and including the Gates Foundation, is going on. We're trying to tell the real story, not the cheerleading press release stuff. So, I've been doing this a long time, even though we're tiny. And like I said, Hans helped me figure out the new media world, which I didn't know what we were doing originally. But I was just before I got here, I was interviewing Nathan Myhrvold about his attempt to convince people he's a philanthropist. And so, anyway, we've got a lot of, we're well known.
Sure, and I think to segue to that, right, I mean, from our perspective, Humanisphere is incredibly credible in the news space because it's covering a field where everyone kind of takes everything at face value more often than not and actually takes a critical eye, and that's why it's gained credibility and gained traffic. It's really a global powerhouse. It's based right here in Seattle. If you want to get involved and people are gravitating to this site, I see them coming through the doors to help in some way, You can donate. It is a nonprofit. This is not a good site to sell soda pop on, so it does run on nonprofit contributions. If you want to contribute code, it's all code, English, Rails, whatever it is you do. If you want to help be a part of this, go check out humanisphere.org and take a look and see if you want to be involved. We're going to have memberships on the site before too long, and first and foremost, come to the site and read. Check it out. It's done right here in Seattle. So that's Humanisphere. And if you have any questions about Humanisphere, ask Tom. Any questions about Culture Foundry, ask me. And Brett said 2 questions. We could do 2 questions. Okay.
We haven't even got the 1 minute warning.
I know. We're doing okay.
Oh, you did. Sorry. I missed it.
Any questions for Tom? Someone's got a question. No? Awkward.
Well, we need to do better at audience engagement, and we're growing traffic. I don't know. We're doing fine. Growing. I mean. Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Any other questions? Got one there.
We're right now mostly grant supported. Foundations give us money, and we're actually trying to diversify. That's actually a great question. We're trying to diversify our revenue stream. We're looking at sponsored content, which is a little controversial in the media world. We're trying to build membership models and so forth. And I actually neglected that. I mean, there is no business model for journalism. That's why things keep closing. And so I've been lucky to get support from a lot of wealthy people who actually like what we're doing, oddly enough. And yeah, we're trying to come up with a more diversified, not just grant funded. So far, it's just been grants. All right, thanks.
Thank you. You guys doing all right? Yeah. Our night is getting better and better. And Pauline, what did you guys do with? Come up here. So we actually met because when Daniela had applied for First Look Forum, I was asked to mentor her, and what she's doing is great. And I got to tell you, this deck is like amazing. From where she
because of the advice that he gave
not me. Because of that, but it's awesome also to help somebody and work with somebody and see how far you've come in just like 9 months with the organization and with the presentation to get the message across. And she's doing some awesome things. Please give Daniela a very, very warm welcome.
Hello. I'm Daniela Tudor, and I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. I'm also the co-founder and CEO of Palalink, a platform for recovering addicts and alcoholics to manage their recovery activities and also stay in contact with their support group network to ultimately prevent relapse. Now, my journey to recovery was not an easy one. I was in active addiction for 11 years. The last 2 years I tried to stop on my own, and things got worse. Finally, I reached out for help and I went to treatment. And it was there that I learned a few very important things. One, unfortunately, that 80% of people that are in recovery relapse. Two, that staying in recovery has very little to do with actual willpower and has everything to do with being accountable to certain mind, body, and spiritual activities that pertain to your individual recovery, and also to staying in constant contact with your support network. Now, it's not just about me. In fact, 1 in 6 people in the United States has struggled with addiction at some point from all socioeconomic areas. And 50% of people have in some way or form been impacted by a community member, family member, or coworker that has struggled with addiction at some point. Now, when I first got into treatment, the first 90 days were absolutely the toughest. I was still dealing with the physical and the mental craving. But on top of that, you're given all of these overwhelming lists of activities that you're supposed to do to stay in constant recovery. So, the Palalink platform We make that really easy. The PalaLink platform is deployed on mobile and also integrates with activity trackers such as Fitbit and Misfit. And we onboard the customers on the last day that they're in treatment. Now, the last day that I was in treatment, I received a huge packet where I was supposed to fill in the blank of how many times I'm going to meditate, how many times I'm going to go to support group meetings, and again, very overwhelming. But with the PalaLink platform, we put the patient's profile on their mobile. All of their activities are tracked. They get that 24/7 support, and the treatment center gets valuable data that helps them create a better treatment program. Now, here's a screenshot from our prototype that we've created in the last few months. You get that constant communication that's encouraged, notifications if there's a change in behavior, constant support network connection, and encouragement for your goals of your mind, body, and spirit that pertain to your personal, unique recovery. Now, I encourage you to join our journey. As I mentioned, we finished our prototype and we've got our first angel investor, and we're signing another one. We're in negotiations right now. So we're looking to close our seed round. After that, in about 3 months, we'll be deploying to treatment centers, like I mentioned, Lakeside Milam and Residence 12, which are here in the state of Washington in 18 locations. So please get in touch with me, and I'm ready for questions. Yep, so the treatment centers will pay per patient. As they reduce relapse, they also allow for those waiting lists of people trying to get in. They'll be able to take in more customers than ever before. And the insurance companies and the treatment centers save a lot of money by paying for the platform and reducing relapse. More questions? Yep. Yep. So again, it's your own individual recovery. So in the spirit section, whatever your ritual may be, for example, for some people it's meditation, some people it's prayer. So there's going to be some element of manual entry to check off those spiritual rituals that you've done, if that is a part of your own personal recovery. So it completely depends. But you're able to customize the activities that pertain to your personal recovery. So if there is a spiritual component, then absolutely you can track how often you're going to, your Sunday church, or you're doing some of those spiritual activities. Yes? They're big stigma. Well, so far, we haven't had a huge stigma point. I mean, I would say some of the ones that have been around for a long time, they're not so open to realizing that, most young people specifically are using their mobile phones for this type of tracking. So just educating them on that and onboarding them onto that and showing them some of those facts. So privacy, no, we're going to provide the data back to the treatment centers in an anonymous way, and we're going to be HIPAA compliant. So, yep.
One more question?
Anyone? Yes. PalaLink. So Pala comes from Paladin, because we're like a knight on a quest to link people together and save lives. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. So our final sponsor tonight is Provectus, and our Tim has been doing some cool things in Seattle, but they also are connected to San Francisco and Ukraine. So it's awesome that what builds in our community is also connecting to communities and other places where we're having contributions to each other. So Artem, thank you very much for being here tonight.
Good evening. My name is Artem. I'm originally from Ukraine. Now I live in Palo Alto in California, and we are running a software development company with headquarters in Palo Alto and operational centers in Ukraine, Bulgaria, and Russia. So right now we have about 350 people, and can I switch slides? And we provide white glove service in mobile application development, e-commerce solutions, data science, and UI UX design. Actually, recently we launched local design studio in Palo Alto, so we position ourselves mostly like UI UX guys, so with pretty design-driven methodology of development. So these are our clients, and we are proud to be like a company of choice of these pretty big guys and startups. But I think about 80% of our revenue coming from United States clients. Actually, I have one more thing to announce. We are going to launch this month's on-demand platform. We spent like 2 years in developing on-demand applications, and at some period of time we decided to invest our money into on-demand platform to build these on-demand applications faster and like go to market faster and cost effectively. So if you're interested, please catch me and I'll give you more information about this product. Actually, that's it. Thank you so much. And we have like few giveaways today.
Who wants free stuff? Who can catch a water bottle and not? No, you can throw it hard. Throw it overhand. Throw it. Get it in the back. Okay. Thank you, Artem.
Thank you.
So, who's heard of Center for Infectious Disease Research? Who knows what they do? Kinda, sorta. So that's why I was really excited. I think we initially connected like maybe 6 months ago to set this up for tonight. And I'm really excited to have Ethan here today because I think we kind of have an idea, but we actually don't know about some of the really cool things that they're doing behind the scenes. So please give a really, really warm welcome to Ethan as he shares more of that with us tonight. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Brett. So yeah, I guess this will be a little different than what we've heard before. So, as Brett mentioned, I'm a scientist at the Center for Infectious Disease Research. We're a nonprofit research institute up in South Lake Union. We're focused on global health and infectious disease, primarily HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria. So that all sounds great, but what does it have to do with tech? Well, it's true that most people at the center do things like that or this, which mostly seems to involve mixing small amounts of liquid together and making science.
And does it ever blow up when you mix those things together?
Well, there are warning signs around. I haven't seen it, but there are also a growing number of people like me. So my PhD was actually in physics, not in any type of biology, and I work on a computer all day. They don't even give me a lab coat. So with the advances of biotech over the last couple of decades, we can measure more and more things. We're generating larger and larger data sets, and in order to extract useful information from these data sets requires sophisticated computational approaches, machine learning, data mining. So that's what I do, and tonight I'll take you through a quick example of that involving tuberculosis. So I think it's fair to say that most people in this country probably don't think or hear about TB very much anymore, but it's still a huge global health problem. There are 1.5 million deaths per year from TB, which makes it the second leading cause of death from infectious disease. And there are actually 2 billion people who are infected with TB. That's over a third of the world's population. And so the WHO has set goals to eradicate TB by 2050, but it's clear that if we want to approach those goals, we need to develop new and better vaccines, treatments, and diagnostics. We're working on all 3 of those, but tonight I'll tell you about a new type of diagnostic. So this is the progression of a TB infection. So it begins, of course, when people are exposed to the bacteria and become infected. Is there a laser? No. It turns out that actually most people, at least initially, can control a TB infection. So they maintain the bacteria in what's called a latent state. But any one of these 2 billion people who have a latent TB infection, at any time they could become sick with TB disease. But most of them won't. So the overall lifetime risk of developing active disease from a latent infection is only about 10%. The problem is we have no way to predict which of the infected people are at risk of getting sick. If we could predict that, then we could give those people prophylactic treatment, hopefully prevent them from ever getting sick in the first place, which would allow them not only to not get sick and potentially die, but it would also prevent them from transmitting the infection to anybody else. So this could have a real impact on the TB epidemic. And that's the goal of this project. We're trying to develop a new method to predict which latently infected individuals will progress to active disease. So in order to address this goal, we're working with several data sets. One of them is from our collaborators in Cape Town, South Africa. So they enrolled over 6,000 high school students and followed them for 2 years. And these students were seen every 6 months, and they were clinically assessed for having any signs of TB disease. If they looked completely healthy, a blood sample was taken. And then over the course of the 2 years, most of the students remained healthy, but a handful of them, about 40, developed TB disease. So now we're in this very powerful position. We have a bunch of blood samples. They're all taken from people who look to be completely healthy, but we know that some of these people are going to get sick and some of them aren't. So the question we ask is, can we use these blood samples to construct a biomarker, a classifier, to predict who's going to get sick? So the measurement that we're using to do this is gene expression in the blood. So we're actually measuring the expression of every gene in the genome in everybody's blood. Turns out to be about 140,000 measurements. In order to make models from this, we apply some machine learning approaches that we've developed that are well suited to biological applications. We're lucky to have several fully independent validation cohorts from multiple sites across Africa. So we took the classifier that we constructed, made fully blind predictions on our validation sets, and it's actually working pretty well. We can predict who's going to get sick up to 1.5 to 2 years before they're ever diagnosed with disease. It's not working perfectly well. We wouldn't expect it to, but we're involved in the planning stages of a trial to assess whether it's working well enough to have a significant impact on the TB epidemic. So if you're interested in learning more about this project or anything else we do at CIDR, here's our information, and I'd be happy to take any questions. Well, not this classifier, but we're also working on malaria. We're looking at vaccine responses for malaria and predicting who's going to be protected or not. With TB, we're also looking at treatment, predicting who's going to fail treatment based on their blood at the time treatment starts, predicting who's going to relapse at the end of treatment. So the blood is a powerful tool to predict these things. As long as you have a clear binary separation of two groups, you can try to form a classifier from it. Yeah. Yeah, so HIV and TB co-infection is a huge problem. Everybody in the study doesn't have HIV, so these are all just TB. They're all people who look completely healthy. That's the great majority of people who have TB. Of the 2 billion in the world, most of them don't get sick. So we're just looking at the people who aren't on any unusual drug regimens or have any other known co-infections. We are working on some projects looking at HIV, TB, and co-infection and trying to see if we can predict those as well. So hopefully in the future. Great.
Ethan, I'm just curious, what made you go work for CID instead of somewhere else?
Yeah, so I switched from physics at the postdoc stage, and I'm glad I did. I liked the research I was doing in physics, but it was very abstract and very far removed from the real world. So what I find so appealing about this is I get to work on really interesting research problems that will hopefully actually impact people's lives, and so it's kind of perfect. Yeah. We have a very active program for students. It's called BioQuest. I would definitely encourage you to look us up. We do tours for high school students all the time, and yeah. Right now, it's all internal. We have a fairly big cluster. Our lab has about 6 dedicated machines, and then the institute's clusters, about 20 machines. But we've looked into using some of the cloud computing, Amazon, Google, Microsoft. So we might start doing more of that. There's issues with some of the data. It's proprietary, so we don't know what we could use at this point. But.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming up here, Red. So our next event is December 17th, and we will be having our second event in Tacoma. I would like to share, if you know anybody in Tacoma, our first event was awesome. We had 80 people at our first event. Dave was there. And what shocked me the most was, I think we've done, between all the locations, maybe 40 of these events now. The most diverse crowd ever was in Tacoma. A little light on the female side, so we're going to work on that. But it was amazing, all the different ethnic backgrounds of the people that were in there. I had no idea Tacoma had that much diversity going on.
This is not to say you guys aren't diverse.
No, but they were representing. That's what I'm saying. Is like first time out, and everybody was representing. It was very cool. And we had 2 female presenters out of 4. One which happened to be not only African American, but the mayor. Holla. That was a good night. And the mayor actually stayed there for a half an hour, just taking questions from people and getting to know the tech community. That was very bad of me, wasn't it? I'm getting old. I was so hip like 15 years ago.
He was a DJ.
Not so much now.
He was a
DJ. Yeah, you would never guess that I was actually a DJ that packed houses once in a blue moon ago. So, New Tech, if you have any interest in sponsoring, advertising, presenting, or you know companies you think that would be cool for people to learn about to be presenters here, please just give me a call or an email. Tonight is really weird. I'm not doing anything right.
Guys,
from this on down.
Did you have a good time tonight? See, Brett is not originally from Seattle. He moved here from Boulder, Colorado. So I don't know what's up with the emotions that go on out there, but we seem to be pretty balanced people about chillness in all forms. And marijuana's been legal here for a while too. So this is pretty normal, right, guys? This is cool. Exactly. So let's put our hands together for Brett. And for yourselves. I mean, think about it. It's a Thursday night. Who's ready for Friday tomorrow? Yeah.
Who's already thinking about next week and not being at work? I think there's a lot of that going on. All right, so we'll wrap it up, and if you want to continue, we will be going across the street so you can do some more networking, connect with some more cool people. So if you're interested in that, you can email me. You can also email Chris at New Tech Seattle. Chris, stand up. Chris is our first hire, our new business development manager. So
if you are hiring, if you are firing, if you are trying to sell us anything, sell it to that guy. He is willing to listen.
And
he is incentivized to listen.
So the website, as you heard, the whole point of the website is we want to take what happens here in person and make as much of that available as possible 24/7. That's why we've built the website the way we have. You can post resumes. You can look for jobs. You can find just general resources. We even have a Seattle Awesomeness page. You wake up on Saturday and go like, I want to do something, I don't know what. Go look at the Seattle Awesomeness page and go like, wow, we should go do that today. We also, as of today, have a service provider listing. So if you have a company that does B2B stuff, you can post there to be found. And if you still have not had enough of these amazing people and you'd like to drink or not drink, totally fine. Come with us across the street. But thank you all so much for coming out tonight and being a part of this. We really appreciate you. You're what makes this special and what makes this happen. So thank you all so much. We appreciate you.
Hit it, DJ.